following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning, and I'm Paige Clarke. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more natural, wild world.
Balanced, natural, wild world.
Well, that works, too.
This is where we recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. I'm Nico and Haan. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it?
It sure is. Clear and 76 degrees.
Yep.
Hope you're having some nice weather where you're at, and perhaps not in the same boat that we are sitting here in Tampa Bay. We've all been kind of watching this storm, Hurricane Irma.
That's
and
for sure.
wherever you are, please stay safe.
Yeah, that's for sure. The number here is 877-927-6648. I want to get right to the map and show you what's going on. This is where Irma is right now, and this is a combination of different types of the.
That's that other storm right over there.
Yeah,
off of
Jose,
Mexico.
I think.
Mhm.
Oh, no,
No.
Jose's back here,
This
and
is
there's
that,
another one.
that
Yeah.
new one, yeah.
So what I wanted to do is basically go to the date. So let's look at Saturday. And they're proposing that's right off of Andros Island here, I guess.
Okay, so it does look like it's moving farther
Yeah, it looks-
east and away from the land of...
On the 10th, it'll be off of
right off Miami. Wow.
The 11th, it'll be all the way up to Jacksonville.
And that could end up going on up to South Carolina
Now, if we
or somewhere.
go to the GFS model and start on Saturday, we find that
so they're starting to blend together.
kind of blending together, and the 10th puts it off of Miami. If we go to the European model here. And
Yeah, the
start
European
9th.
model is the one that was showing it more going into the Gulf. Let's see
Yeah.
what's happening now. Go to Sunday.
Yeah, now it's the 10th, and Sunday it'll be
Yeah, they're almost the exact same now.
very, very close.
Little
So
farther
we're pretty confident that now it's going to head up probably the east side of Florida,
But you know,
which is good for us, of course. here on the
it
west
sure
side.
is, folks. But we'll be thinking about all of our friends and loved ones in South Florida. We got Robbie Bessner and Melody right in Boca, right near where that is. So they're packing it up and moving out. So be safe. I want to continue the conversation, though.
Yeah.
Because I really believe that we've become complacent about being prepared. And I think prepping is cool. I think...
It's fun to do. It's fun to think about that. I think at least...
We don't ever want to have to use it, but we've all found the inconvenience of, the lines. I mean, here we are, possibly 5-6 days ahead of when it might have hit us in this area, and we've got gas lines 30, 40, 50 cars deep. There's no water in the stores. Much of the food stuff are gone. Even toilet paper is kind of a rough thing to find.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, these are things, for example, toilet paper, that don't go bad. And if you at least put aside some of these things, we'd all be much better off. So I want to continue this conversation because for us, this is a close call. But this is an opportunity to perhaps get together with your community and find a way to work together to put together things. One of the things I really like doing is like what you said, or someone told me, really just go around your house and look at all the excess stuff you have in the drawers. You know what I mean? You have like duplicates of so many things. You can, before you go and spend a fortune on things, start thinking, what would I need if I had to get out for 72 hours?
Well, one of the things, too, is all your important papers, identification. You should keep that someplace safe, someplace waterproof. And if you're bugging out, you need to take care of that stuff with you. Because it might not be there when you get back.
That is so true. That is so true.
One of the articles we came across was how, the 10 or 12 different, how many do they have? 12 prepper mistakes. I thought this was interesting because it's kind of the opposite of what I'm thinking about. I'm always trying to be as organized as possible at the beginning of a hurricane season, or if I'm going out of town, I always have my little bug-out bag with me. But I thought this was a real good one that you highlighted.
Yeah, I'm kind of learning all this logo,
Okay.
And, the everyday carry, an EDC bag is something that they recommend, so you almost, when you're following these blogs, you almost got to get the lingo. The EDC is everyday carry. It's something you should have on your persons at all times.
Yeah, in your car, supposedly.
Yeah, in your car, so kind of following you along. And then you've got your 24-hour bug-out bag or your 72-hour bug-out bag. So let's talk about these top 12 prepper mistakes. This comes to us from City Prepping. I told you all I like that guy. And, whether you're new to prepping or you've been doing it for years, there are a lot of common mistakes people are making. And the number one mistake is failure to identify the most likely risks and prepping for those first.
Yeah, if you're in Florida, you're not going to prep as much for an earthquake as you are for a hurricane. Just makes common sense.
Yeah, you kind of have to think about what might be going on. And it's easy to start prepping for things that are highly improbable. For example, an EMP blast. When much higher probable threats are reality.
Yeah, and of course we had some stuff coming off the sun.
That's right. The sun
three of them in a row.
Yeah, the sun's been doing some stuff.
Yeah, so probably this afternoon we're going to get hit with at least one of them, and in the next 48 hours, maybe all three of them. And they are directed toward Earth, but they are a higher class. Threat. It's a lower level at the high level. So
right.
It's something
that's
that
a whole conversation. Maybe he has a great article on EMPs, and maybe we want to do that too if we get a chance. But it's so much easier to focus on getting gadgets and cool gear. So many people can hit the Amazon store, which I know a lot of people that I know did do that. And you're ordering, and Amazon's shipping, and it's getting there, and you forget to do some of the basic things. You get so caught up in bugging out as opposed to obtaining the most important things you need for bugging in, stocking up on food, water, and medical supplies.
Yeah. The second thing here is the lack of discipline and organization. You really have to have this. You're hitting your mic.
I know. I'm going to have to deal with that after the on the next break.
So discipline, when you start prepping, it's easy to get sidetracked. Like you said, you go on Amazon, order a whole bunch of stuff that you may never use. So, figure out what you need immediately and get those things and get that organized and put it in proper place where you can find it.
Yeah, well, that's why I mentioned going through your drawers. I was amazed over this last weekend. I went through my drawers to look at all, how many medical kits did I have? Well, could I make a medical kit for my get out of Dodge bag?
Right.
From some of the stuff I already had before you just go and getting orders. So that is good about being organized. And discipline's sister, organization, is as important. Otherwise you'll be scattered and ineffective.
Yeah, so a list is good. My wife loves lists because you can check things off and you're done with them.
Gives you a feeling of accomplishment.
Exactly, so that's good. Number 3 is spending your entire budget on gear instead of food.
Or water and medical supplies.
Yeah.
And that's what can happen. You go and next thing you know, you've spent $1,000 on Amazon and all these gadgets, and the water's gone.
Yeah, there's no water.
Yeah. So maybe you can scroll on the Telestrator and show some of those pictures. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, your pockets are empty. And so many, he even mentions guilty as charged. He was guilty of doing that. He got crazy with getting gear, and I think a lot of people can get caught up in that. So make sure you focus on the most important, which is your water and your food. And as we know in Florida, many stores have been sold out. People are having to go back and wait. But long-term food and water storage is critical to surviving no matter what kind of storm, whether you're bugging in or bugging out. You're going to want to have it in your car.
Right.
So we got to take a short break.
Yeah, on Primal, the Healthy Signals newsletter, I've got a great recipe for grilled buffalo ribeye steak with smoky onions and rope fruit.
Whoa,
Pick up
yummy.
the newsletter, folks. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back. So we're talking about getting ready for situations like a hurricane or earthquake. And one of the things we want to do, of course, is have enough water. And the way you judge how much water you have is a gallon per person per day.
And that's a conservative estimate.
Yeah.
But,
and that's just for drinking.
Yeah, that's for drinking.
Yeah.
Hopefully before the water disappears, you'll have a chance to fill your tub up, have some purification, iodine or Clorox or water purifying drops.
Yeah, so you multiply the number of people by the number of gallons and the number of days, and you come out with what you need. So if it's 5 days, you have 5 people, that's 25 gallons right there.
That's 5-gallon jugs, stacked up in your garage. So put that on your list and check that off, guys. So, when you get to food, having a backup inventory of food you already use on a daily basis is the first step for food storage. Why? Because then that way you can kind of run through it as it expires, and it'll be foods that you already enjoy. You really want to have a, 3-day backup of foods that can be eaten without cooking because the power may be out.
Right. A lot of times people will cook the day before the hurricane strikes, so you're cooking all that stuff.
I'm going to be making some cabbage soups, and then I'm going to freeze them.
Right.
And then that way, if we lose that, hopefully we'll be able. I'm also freezing some ice. I'm freezing some water in Ziploc freezer bags because I have a good idea. I have a thought that the ice bags are going to be sold out at stores.
Well, it could be too, and also the more things you freeze and put them in the refrigerator, from the freezer to the refrigerator, helps keep all that stuff cool in the refrigerator.
That's a great point.
There was a nice tip that you put into the
Oh, yeah, we're going to go over that at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So food, 3 days, how much food you need for 3 days. If you have people that are going to be hunkering down with you, of course, that adds to it. If you're going to be storing food, know the right place to store them. A nice, cool place in the house.
Dark closet.
Preferred. Yeah.
Long-term food storage is beyond the 1 to 2 months backup supply. You have long-term food storage that can last up to 20 to 25 years. Honestly, I don't have that yet.
And that's mostly dry goods.
Like MRE meals ready to eat. But, now there's a lot of natural foods companies that are doing these long-term storage that
freeze-dried.
Freeze-dried food. I think freeze-dried is really a good option. Yeah. And these have been meticulously stored in food containers to ensure they have long-term backup food in the event our region doesn't get power back to normal in a month or two. So, again, really, the tip number 5 is preparing mostly to bug out rather than bug in. That's a mistake, he says. Ideally, the safest environment would be in your own home, assuming it's you're capable of living there. Maybe you want to scroll up to that picture so they see actually a picture. The idea of heading for the hills and surviving in the wild with your trusty bug-out bag might, kind of give you a little bit of a thrill, but in reality it's not so much,
Well, in the hurricane, too, if you're bugging out here on foot, then you're being caught in that hurricane. You don't have any shelter. That's tough,
And really,
even the
many people may have inclement weather that's way and above, cold.
Just bugging out to a shelter is bad enough, I think. You're amongst a whole bunch of strangers and probably not the ideal conditions, and you're stuck there until the storm goes. So I like the idea of staying at the house and making sure you're on high ground, those types of things. So these are things that you think of way beforehand. When I bought the house, I thought of this.
Right.
So I think that's real important to make sure. I really never wanted to leave my house, so I purposely didn't want to live on the shore.
Right.
I can always go to the shore.
So, yes, City Prepper says unless you have to leave your house, if it's not safe, it would be the last thing that he would consider, and that makes sense. You've got all of your supplies there. You're in an environment where you're safe from perhaps people that may not have prepared as well.
And also, how many people are on the road? I mean, right now, it's gridlock everywhere. Gas stations, even up here. I went by the gas station. I thought, well, I got 3/4 of a tank. I could top it off. And then I saw 5 cars
Listen
around
to this.
one pump. Yep.
He wrote, remember when the hurricane hit Houston, Texas in 2005? Well, here we are again, guys.
Yeah.
And everyone realized they needed to leave. They ended up stuck in mass gridlock, resulting in people abandoning their cars as they ran out of gas.
Yeah.
So keep your car's gas tanks filled at all times. We found this out we're still like many days away, and there are huge lines, and many gas stations sold out.
So imagine down in Miami what it's like. Whoa. That's for sure.
So number 6 is not having the skills necessary for sustainability.
That's
Plant a garden, guys.
Kind of modern American. There's a lot of people who do know how to prep and know how to survive out there. Most of us do not. I probably put myself in that category. It would be a extreme learning experience, even though I feel like pretty prepared at home. But if I have to leave and then carry stuff with me, that's a whole different bag.
That's right. And so you might have the gear and you have stored food and water, but good enough, but not really. Unless you've stored up for a long time, you're going to exhaust your resources of food. And there's always going to be loved ones or neighbors or something who didn't prepare. And then you've got that really difficult situation. He has a couple of blogs on that about how do you help those that didn't prepare, because it's really actually taking from your supply, and how do you make those decisions.
Yeah. And do you eat more when the situation is, if you've been on a American-style diet, you probably get hungry a lot faster.
Yes.
You're going to eat a lot more. So those stores that you have, you've got to conserve those. So it's going to be harder and harder. If you're on a primal diet like we are, you're not going to get as hungry. You could probably go for 3 days without eating. It wouldn't bother you too much. You just know you have to eat.
Exactly. That's a really good point, Nico. And then the other thing is storing all of your preps in the same place. He suggests that may or not be the best idea. Keeping things stored in different locations throughout your house, and even in backup locations. Think a storage facility of other places. Gives you backup options. Part of your house may be damaged in an earthquake or a hurricane, or you may not be able to access your home at all. Do you have food or water stored in your vehicles?
Yeah.
Remember the phrase, don't store all your eggs in one basket? The meaning is simple. If you keep everything in one place, the odds are that prepping being destroyed or stolen increases significantly. Yeah, we just don't know what kind of things happen.
Another thing is failure to help others out. So there are going to be people that are going to need your help, and it's important that if you know CPR, to help these people. If people are out of food, you got to help them out. I mean, this is what human beings do, so this is the natural way.
He makes the point that it's not all the things you have, it's the skills you have.
Yeah.
And how many of us have survival skills, medical skills, organizational skills, shelter building skills, fire building skills? And the key thing is as you get these skills, practicing them.
Yeah. It was interesting because we were looking out the window last night, looking at the wind blowing and stuff, and across the street we have this huge tree that's been dead for a few years, and the neighbors were scrambling out there. They had a few buddies, and they were all up in this huge tree trying to take it down, and boy, they did a pretty good job of it. Boy, they were working for like 4 hours. I mean, this is a massive tree.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of waiting to the last minute, but I'm glad they did it, because that thing could have been shrapnel for a lot of the windows in the area.
Well, that year in 2000, I think it was 2005 when we were having all those storms, I was in the process of adding my addition onto the house over near you.
Yeah.
And I had tile roofs delivered.
Oh.
So then the roofers, they have to come and take all the tile, stack all those heavy tiles that got loaded onto the roof in the first place, pile
Take
them off the
down.
ground.
Yeah.
And then we get them back up, and then another storm came. It was crazy. It was really good. I spent so much money paying those guys to take them off.
So the next one is lacking the knowledge and proper storage and knowing how to rotate all that food. So that's an important thing, and I don't know how many people actually do that. I do that a little bit, but I don't think I'm up to snuff on it.
You know what I did is I got some Sharpie pens.
Yeah, put the dates on them.
And I put the dates big so you can see them.
Good idea.
A silver, black Sharpie pen, that gives you a way to glance at it. You start working out of your pantry and replenishing as you go.
You got any ideas, folks? Because you could give us a call here at 877-927-6648. Paige and I'll be right back.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So let's not make the top 12 prepper mistakes. The number 10 is having the gear but not knowing how to use it. We talked about how everyone's having fun putting together their bugging out bag or their bugging in supplies, but tools are great to have, but if you don't know how to use them, they're useless. So let's get back to talking about maybe finding some meetup groups where you can practice survival skills or things that would be important to support you and your family in the event that we would have not access, we wouldn't have access. You were just sharing during the break. I didn't realize that you've got a propane generator that could run your house for 10 plus days.
Yep.
You could see, everyone could be out of power and you could be sitting there being comfortable and watching movies.
Yep.
See? You.
And of course you can stretch it out by using minimal stuff. So, put the thing up to 78 or 80 degrees. So you're
Turn
running,
it off, pull the shades down.
Yeah,
and
unplug everything except the essential, and maybe I can go a month. It's possible. I've got 2 huge tanks, and then I have a backup generator that works on gas also that we use for many years.
And you've got the fuel.
Yeah, I've got these big propane tanks that are buried in the ground, 120 gallons each.
Oh, they're buried in the
Well,
ground.
they're actually above ground, but they're
Partially,
yeah,
on the side of the house.
Yep.
Is that a risk for fire or anything?
No, not really. I mean, it's away from the house. It's
Right.
so many feet. There's certain things that you have to do when you install them. Number 11 is buying stuff while ignoring the need for developing the skills.
We kind of covered that.
Yeah.
So here's a simple list. Let me just run through this real quick. Maybe grab your pad of paper.
Yep.
If you want to increase your possibilities of having surviving and being a pleasant survival, find out how to purify water. Number 1, have water and know how to purify it. How to start and maintain a fire. How to get in shape. We have an article to talk about that.
Yeah, and getting in shape is too late. I mean, you can't do it while the hurricane's going on.
Right, self-defense. Hey, you're a jiu-jitsu dude.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, is a lot of people in jiu-jitsu, first of all, know how to use firearms. They're into prepping. They know how to take care of themselves because the mindset of jiu-jitsu is defense.
It is. It's not offense. It's
Right.
defense.
It's defense.
Land navigation. Do you know where to go? Compass sounds like really something you need to have.
And that's really important, folks, because basically here in Pinellas County, we're almost on an island. And we would be on an island when the water comes. So that means we're no getting out of town.
And maybe not so many trees to hide underneath or anything, or woods as much,
Yeah.
How to build a shelter. How to put together a temporary shelter, whether it be just a tarp, basic first aid. It would be something to survive something like this and then have someone get an injury and you didn't know how to stop the bleeding. I think that would be horrible.
Trapping and fishing, of course, just about everybody knows how to fish, especially around here in Florida. But trapping, maybe not so much. Good to know both. We have a lot of rabbits in our area. It'd be great to get a couple of those rabbits, that's for sure.
And how to identify plants that might be sustainable for you.
And do you know how to garden?
Right. And, because we can actually grow food to support a family of 4 in a 4x4 garden.
Yeah, so the things you should be thinking about is 4 essential things immediately, and you need to think about the water, think about the food, some medical supplies, and the safety of you and your family. So those are the things to think about.
Yeah, and, on the other side, let's assume that perhaps you did. We might want to talk a little bit about what are some of the things if... we did have this situation, what would be some of the things you would use to barter with? That's something to think about.
10 inexpensive barter stuff items that you have now. This is really cool because I think about this a lot. I think about, okay, what would be something that I may not use myself but barter, and I think a big bag of rice would be one of them.
Exactly, and that's a very inexpensive thing to be buying, and they have a long shelf life.
That's right. So let's take a look at what they say in this site, which is called 10 inexpensive stuff you can barter with. And let's go down the list and see what...
Okay.
Number 1, alcohol or tobacco.
Yeah, you go ahead and get started on that, Nico, because I'm having that same window thing where these are the articles I put in there, and they're not appearing. They're gone.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and start on that list.
The author here says I put these 2 on my list first because there's so many people that still smoke, and they're going to be jonesing out.
Because they're going to be stressed out.
That's right. The next thing is salt, spices, and seasonings. These are things that people run out of and may not have on hand.
Well, remember the word salt is salary, and it was worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, and it still is.
And it still is, and that's an inexpensive thing to... So perhaps now, if you already are prepared, you might be looking and have a chance to go through this list. Perhaps you should put this in the next newsletter. These might, as I said, this might be an investment in terms of things that you can stack and use these as trade and currency for those people that maybe weren't as prepared.
So the next thing on the list is honey or sugar, and these are great bargaining tools.
The neat thing about honey is honey really, if you're getting real honey and not high fructose corn syrup labeled honey.
Right.
It has an indefinite shelf life. We found it in Egyptian tombs.
As long as you close that lid tightly, that's for sure. And
Coffee and tea.
yeah.
All these things that we become addicted to. Tea, I think, is really cool, too, because you
Healing
can store a
properties.
lot of those. It has healing power, and it also is something that you can put in Ziploc baggies, maybe one of those ones where you suck all the air out
Yeah.
and store them in a box flat, and then maybe in baggies where you could sell a few baggies or something, or trade them.
And here's some fresh vegetables and fruit. You can always barter that. A little bit harder to keep, but you can still do it. Even
But
though
if
they're
you're
not water.
actually already have them growing, fruit trees and so forth, then this is really something. Heirloom seeds, guys. This is something that many people some time ago started buying. I think this is a very important prepping.
Well, this is we're talking about more longer-term prepping, where you the electricity might go out for a few months, and then you're going to have to plant some of these things. And,
If the electricity goes out and the pumps don't work, then the trucks aren't going to work, and there's not going to be food at the grocery store. So you're going to want to be able to grow your
Exactly.
own.
Yeah.
Toilet paper and wipes. I realize that.
I would put this up on maybe a number 2 or 1 or something, because this is really important stuff. If you don't have these things, of course, you can use water.
Well, I think that's, again, something that we thought, over in other parts of the country, they don't even have toilet paper.
Right.
And they just wet their hands and
Right.
kind of rinse and wash themselves off. Maybe they have to reuse, I don't know what they do, but it really is amazing when you think about what the cost of toilet paper is.
Yeah.
Just something to wipe your butt with.
And the other thing, of course, is toiletries, toothpaste, soap, deodorants, things like that. Probably important.
But remember,
this is
these
some of the
toothpaste might
comfort
be
things, too.
might be $3 a tube, but you can buy a box of baking soda for 49 cents
Yeah.
and store those and brush your teeth.
And of course, drugs are always something that you can barter with, no matter what kind of drugs they are. You might have some old prescriptions that you didn't toss, and this is a good time that you can barter them. I'm sure there's things like painkillers. There's
Pepto-Bismol or
alcohol.
Imodium.
They mentioned it's not a medication, but it can be used as a medication, and certainly with marijuana and things like that, those are things you can always barter.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing is ammunition. When we're talking about getting your life together and having the ability to defend yourself under extreme conditions, you need ammunition. You need that gun. And thank God in the United States we have that ability.
We have that right to defend ourselves. So, you know what wasn't on this list?
What?
Gold and silver. City Prepper says, why wasn't gold and silver on this list? Because precious metals is a long-term approach. If I'm hungry and I need meds or need something that I can use right now, what are they going to value more than a precious metal? It's going to be some of these 10 things we just said.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
once you have some of these things to trade, you can have these other things, the gold and silver, so that you come out on the other end. But they may not be what people need. They can't eat gold and silver.
That is for sure.
Okay, we got to take a short break. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Tom O'Brien has just announced that he'll be coming to Boston September 30th for a free workshop, The Art of Timing the Trade. Join Tom O'Brien Saturday morning, September 30th at the Boston Marriott in Burlington, Massachusetts, as he breaks down his trading methodology and provides you with the tools to become a more successful and profitable trader. Everyone that attends in person will receive a free signed copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. Daryl Martin from Apex Investing Institute will also be presenting for 90 minutes at this free event.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Join me in Boston on September 30th as I return to my hometown for a workshop about the art of timing the trade. I look forward to seeing all the tigers and tigresses for this special free event.
All action starts early at 7:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast and wraps up at about 1 p.m. Topics that Tom will be covering during his presentation include quality volume, cause and effect, ABC structures, swing points, and much, much more. For all the information on this free Boston event taking place Saturday, September 30th, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. So we're talking about preparing yourself for an emergency, and our producer here says that the water heater in your home can store 30 to 40 gallons of portable water. So
Don't forget about that.
Yep.
That's right. All those sources of
So I wanted
hidden
to
water.
go to these kits. You know, there's a lot of different kits. This is one from Stealth Angel, Outdoor and Urban Survival. And let's just take a look at this. Is a one-person kit here. for survival.
This is the
And
under their
relatively
medical care.
Yeah, and this is like a little bug-out bag just for one person for 72 hours.
Well, I don't think that's a bug-out bag. It's just not
It's an emergency preparedness kit.
for medical. This is the medical. You're under the medical. That's not
yeah.
just, that doesn't have all their food and all that stuff.
Let's
That's
see what this one has in it. So we got food and water for 72 hours.
Oh,
We've
okay.
got light and communication,
Oh, they do in that one. Okay.
and that's an AM/FM radio with batteries and headphones. You have a flashlight, a little survival whistle with some other tools, and a box of waterproof matches.
Right.
For a shelter and warmth, you have a emergency survival blanket, an emergency poncho with a hood. And
And they give you a couple of tools.
So the tools would be a respirator and dust mask, and that's pretty much it here.
And some hygiene, tissue packs, and first aid.
And that's a 37-piece
How about
portable
this?
kit. Additional
These
things.
items are used for stress relief and activity. Survival playing cards, 52 cards with valuable survival skills that will educate you in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's funny that human beings, you know, when we get out in the wild and stuff like that, if we start playing cards instead of being actually out in the wild like our ancestors used to do, we have to have some silly little games because we get so bored. When outside, it's really not boring at all.
No, exactly. I agree.
And it's neat. Some of them are waterproof. Some of them have different stealthy things. And let me go back here because there's all kinds of, you know, they have them specifically for all kinds of different situations. So if you're in a different area, you might not need, like, where's the one here? We had a survival kit for tornadoes, one for wildfires, like out in California.
Right, where you might need to have more of a
Yeah.
mask situation. You know,
And then-
we're talking about the hurricane here.
Yeah.
I have a friend in Montana. She said like 45 of their 54 counties, you know, under heavy smoke
Yeah.
and fires.
Yeah, and this was
In
right
California.
where I, you know, down near Pasadena and Glendale, they had those fires. Those were really amazing fires down there. So one end of the country got too much water, the other end of the country got that dryness and lots of fire going on. So, you have to really make up your own mind what kind of kit you want to get, whether it's an emergency kit, and depending
Or
on how many
building
people.
your own,
But here you have one that you can keep in your car. Here's one specifically for pets, one for a general natural disaster. Here's one for specifically for a classroom.
And look at this one. There's a 100-person first aid kit. That's the responsible person that buys one of those, realizing they may need to provide care for others. I think that's kind of cool.
And probably a good idea is to identify who in your neighborhood has what skills. I know next door to me I have a couple of people that work at the hospital. I know down the road I have somebody that's really good with doing tree service and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Another one a couple of blocks away is a fireman. So, find out from your neighbors who has the skills, because you may just need those things.
I think we're surprised sometimes at how many people really don't know their neighbors. And if we got into a grid down situation, we need to know who our tribe is. That will become our de facto tribe.
Yeah.
And so we have to pull together. Let's go back. We mentioned this. I just want to give them the site. We mentioned this yesterday, the canned butter. Before we go to that article, the name of the site that has it is called, this article was written by Celine River Press. She's one of the leading Weston A. Price leaders. She's awesome. And she's talking about, did you say canned butter? There is actually a company that's producing canned butter. And you can find it at the Weston A. Price Foundation Shopping Guide. And I just want people to know that they might want to Google this canned butter. It's called Red Feather Brand, Pure Creamery Butter. You might want to Google that, because that should definitely be added to your bug-in survival things, because we know butter is a superfood.
You don't have to refrigerate this, I would assume.
Exactly, because it's canned. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I like that.
Kind of like with honey, too.
Honey and butter.
Yeah, keep those things up. So one of the articles I wanted to go to is how to get physically fit, because one of the things that happens is...
If you're going to carry around your bug-out bag that's going to weigh 50 pounds, you better be fit.
Yeah, they're actually, the small one I got is a pretty heavy 25-pound bag.
Yeah.
So these things are not for the faint
Did you
of
buy
heart.
your get out of Dodge bag, the one that you're talking about? Did you buy it already made, or did you put it together?
No, this one is one I carry in my car. It's already made. It's a 3-day bug-out bag that I can use anywhere, and it's got a lot of
ready to
crap
go,
food in it.
like the ones you were just showing us.
Yeah, exactly. Something like
Is that where you ordered it?
I ordered from Amazon, so it may be from that company. It may not. I don't know. But, getting physically fit is a huge thing in my life. It's something that's always forefront in my mind, just as a general rule because of health. But for times like this, when the stress is high and you need to do things to get ready, because in the next couple of days I might be out there putting my shutters up and, getting everything off the porches, and there's a lot of stuff that you have to do.
And if you were stranded and needed to walk for an extended period of time carrying this stuff, you need to have that core and leg quad strength to carry on like that.
And the other thing I think of, too, is I've got a place of work that's a few blocks away, but now I have 2 places of work because I'm moving at the end of this month.
Well, right next door.
Yeah, so I've got 2 places that are right next door, but now I'm responsible for 2 instead of just 1.
Right.
So not only do I have to worry about my house and my vehicles, I have to worry about 2 places of business.
You know what really impressed me was right before you went out to your Bigfoot excursion out in Colorado, that you told me, because we have the Bel Air Bridge, which is a nice incline bridge, almost like climbing a hill.
Yeah.
You actually put your backpack on your back and you hiked the bridge to get used to carrying it. That was very smart, I thought.
We have a caller on the line, so we got a couple of minutes left, so let's get the caller on the line. I don't know who it is, but hey, it's Nico and Paige. How you doing?
Well, hey, hi. Good to hear from you guys. I haven't called in a while.
Hi, Larry.
I just wanted to make a comment. Well, by the way, your show is fantastic, and I'm sorry you got the storm, but I just wanted to get this off my chest.
Sure.
I finally defeated, where I worship, the establishment. The medical doctors who were trying to run the show, I eventually sent enough information and had enough discussions with the head guy to have him realize that it's a pretty corrupt institution, medicine, not emergency medicine or post surgeries, but I gave him information about things like, stem cell harvesting at what's it? Family planning.
Oh, Planned Parenthood.
And also, I sent them tapes of mothers whose young teenage boys, for instance, had a neck injury, and they signed the right paperwork. Brain death was the technical legal term, and they harvested these young men's organs for beaucoup bucks. Mm-hmm. And these were the type of ethical arguments that finally encouraged the head of my place of worship to kind of realize that this is a corrupt it's a money-driven business.
Hey, Larry, we've got to take a short break. You want to hang on the phone with us?
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back. Got to take a break.
Great.
Larry from Wyoming.
Yeah, he's always into this. I want to hear what he has to say. So we'll be right back with Larry from Wyoming.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
And we're talking with Larry in Wyoming, and Larry was telling us a little bit about his efforts to help bring his church congregation up to speed on what's actually going on with Oregon.
Medicine and politics.
Medicine and politics, with what's going on with Planned Parenthood and where stem cells and organs are coming from, Larry. So carry on. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on.
Well, I'm relentless when it comes to this medical thing because my own personal story was so abysmal how poorly the doctor scam works. And I'm very interested in other people's stories. I just met with an extremely wealthy, a billionaire type guy, a guy that owns square miles of land around here and gas and oil. He's lost his wife, He has grandchildren with autism. He lost his wife with the chemo radiation scam. We've become friends. And he's a hardcore businessman. He believes the only way to get the truth out of the medical establishment would be to lift these people out of their false reality, put them in his reality, and torture the truth out of them. This is how he thinks. In other words, get them. I've pressured doctors in person, and they finally kind of whine, oh, but they don't pay us for what really would help people. I'm able to do that, but this guy wants to do it on a mass scale where he, like, lifts the it'd make a good book where you lift the people out of the security of their monopoly cartel, put them in a billionaire's lair, and just sleep deprivation, get them to fess up to, it can't work, allopathy is it's a failed method.
Yeah.
And so that's another angle.
Yeah,
but you have to keep the pressure on these people it's an inside job.
Yeah.
You know, it's a gang. It's a mob. They're not going to tell you we're criminals.
Yeah, it's true. And, we all have our own stories. I know I have one in the 1990s with my dad being diagnosed with cancer, and my sister just a couple of years ago. And what they did to them, it's not the way I would go. But, these are the choices that they have to make. It's a tough thing when you're having a disease that actually is probably easy to cure just by lifestyle and by eating right. And now it's really become a business in America. So I agree with you.
Well, Nico, I sent a lady where I worship again. She's an anesthesiologist, a smart lady. She's getting very sickly and decrepit after 65 years. She hit it, and she's falling apart. And I told her she has heart problems. I told her about ethylene ditriaminic acid and, chelation and lifestyle. And she would argue with me she's scared to try EDTA, but she's on blood thinners, rat poison.
Right, warfarin.
And finally when I said to her, really all you have to do is we're trying to reestablish a normal homeostasis that you probably have departed from decades ago, she won't talk to me. If you use words about health, homeostasis, resurgence of health, they reject you. They can't think or talk that way. That's what
Larry,
I've learned.
think about the word.
The standard medical doctors, the 99%.
Yeah, think about the word indoctrinated, the ideology of words, the word DOC, doc. Indoctrinated is to sort of meld it into what you think. And like Nico and I were saying on the break, most medical professionals have huge hearts. They got into the business wanting to help people, but, that help them. They get trapped by the system. They're trained to be pharmaceutical and surgical and hospital service salesmen. Many of them realize that. Then they end up having a lot of trouble with alcohol and drugs because they realize that what their intentions were is not where they get paid.
Yeah.
And
that's very intuitive. That's this woman fights drugs.
Yeah. Well,
hey, Larry, thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Larry, as
you.
always. We appreciate it. And thanks for your good work and helping to enlighten your people about what's really going on. Appreciate it.
And be prepared, folks, no matter what it is, your health. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. So, get healthy.
Okay. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.